Okay, let's talk about business development. I really think business development is about two things. The first thing is curiosity, and the second thing is appreciation. If you can remember those two things, I think you'll have some success in business development. So what is business development? It's making something out of what seems like nothing. And the key phrase here is what seems like nothing. You see, when we're building businesses, when we're outselling, when we're marketing, or whatever your role is, there's a tendency to look around, to see things, and to take a lot for granted. When you're developing a business and you want it to grow, and you might not have a lot of capital, you might not have a lot of what you think is, you don't think you have leverage, you've got plenty, but you've got to train yourself to look at everything out there in the marketplace differently. So when I am business developing, I think of it as fun. I think of it as curiosity. I think of it as appreciation, conversation, and let that take me places where I wouldn't normally go. Now, the key here is really understanding that as you travel about, as you make calls, as you interact with others, there are all kinds of impulses you get, but most of them you don't pursue. You observe something, you hear something, you look at something, and you kind of file it away, and you don't really value it. When you're developing your business and you're growing into business, you have to do the complete opposite. You have to always have your antenna up, looking and feeling what's going on around you, and being willing to pursue things that seem like nothing, that are really something. That's where appreciation comes in. Once you begin to value what's happening around you, you'll start to make some progress. So what do I do when I'm developing and building relationships? And let's say, I'm early in building a business, not much capital, not much contacts. What do? Well, first of all, you have your business cards, right? So you have those all the time with you. You're always in a position where you can exchange business cards with people. Still valuable, even though we're all digital, still valuable to have business cards. Now, in my case, the other thing I do is I'll take one of my books. Like You Can Still Win. I was once in a cab and met a guy. He asked me what I did for a living. He heard me on the phone. I asked for his address. I sent him one of these books, and he gave me one of the most beautiful testimonials. It was the first book or second book he had read in its entirety. And he thanked me for giving that to him because he read it with greater curiosity and interest because I was in his taxi. So, it's an incredible tool. If you've got a book, if you've got someone else's book, whatever you've got, use it. Now, the other thing is, I go through my phone all the time, going through my phone to see, okay, hey, what's going on? Hey, okay, the president just made an announcement. But I'm going through my contacts. To see, is this someone I should follow up with? Is this someone I should talk to? What about my messages? Is this someone that, hey, should I let them know what's going on, what I'm doing? By the way, I just launched a new product. By the way, I'm looking for this kind of thing going on. Hey, how you doing? We haven't talked in a while. Just came across a story I thought would interest you, and so forth. So, you're always doing that. I'm going to talk to a group about leadership. We're talking about leadership at a very basic level, but I pulled out one of my, just if you can read it, lead. This comes from my management training series, my effective management series. I'm going to share this with someone. I'm going to give it to them. Hey, 21 great tips here in terms of leadership. I've got a book I was reading here about, read it a little while back, Lunches with Orson Welles. Found it fascinating. Someone I know who is in the film, is a filmmaker, and I saw some interesting things in here about fundraising and strategies and all that. I want to share that with this person, and I'm going to have that. I left that out because I wanted to talk to them about that. When I'm out and about, I also collect a lot of things because I want to appreciate things. So if I'm going into a hotel or a restaurant, they've got some kind of guide out. I went into the to see what was going on. The Park Avenue Armory here in New York. The art show was coming up. I picked up the guide. I went through here. And here's just what this tells me. It tells me how the industry works. It tells me who's advertising. It tells me who the key players are. It tells me who's sponsoring. It tells me so much about what's going on in that sector. And if I am in conversation with someone or want to build a relationship with someone, I want one of these companies as a potential partner and sponsor or client. It's good to know a little bit about them and pay attention to these things. I was in the Time Warner Center here in New York. I walked into the Jazz at Lincoln Center area and looked at their calendar. What's going on? I love jazz. Noticed that Marcus Miller is going to be performing shortly, soon. Marcus Miller and I went to high school together. That's a show that I want to see. Wouldn't have known that if I hadn't picked that up. Time Out here in New York. What's going on? The restaurants, the openings, the comedy, the things to do, the reviews, the just interesting things that are going on. All spark ideas for you, people to contact. These stories are in here so that you can follow up with these people and get to know them and build relationships with them and propose things to them. This is a prospect list. Same thing here in New York. Lots of interesting things about what's happening at the galleries, the museums, the various new shows that are coming out, who's performing. You might have heard about a show, not realizing that it has opened. The Temptations has opened in New York. Knew it was coming, didn't know it had opened. I'm heavily involved in luxury marketing. Manhattan Magazine, Modern Luxury Manhattan, a magazine that is offered across the country in multiple markets. Great source of information for me, for clients, relationships. So what you want to do is really have your focus on understanding what's happening around you. You want to talk to doormen. You want to say hello to people in cafes. You want to ask how people are doing. You want to get into conversations. You want to be curious, because that is going to lead you places where you wouldn't otherwise go. And that's what business development is about. Now, I take all of this information that I'm gathering all the time, that I'm paying attention to, that I'm appreciative of, and then I use that to get into doors, to make phone calls, to build partnerships, to realize new services that should be offered. If you do that, you will develop your business and you will turn what seems like nothing into something. It's all around you. It's in your phone, it's in your city, it's on television, it's on radio, it's online, it's in the minds and hearts of the people you encounter, the opportunities that you need. I have a video somewhere on this channel that says you can always find an opportunity in walking distance. This is a little bit more detail about what that means. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. Share it with someone in your network. A lot of people need to hear this because they're wondering where to go and what to do. Share it with your network. And make sure you subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more coming. I'll see you next time.